Today we're doing an alignment on a 2011 EX35 Infinity. So we have our nice high quality Hunter machine here. This thing's great. This is way better than the Beisbarth machine I used to use. First step on this machine, unfortunately, something that's happened the last couple of years, we have to raise it up 2 clicks for the sensors to read. Anyways, then you go and you scan the barcode on the door sticker there. And that should put the VIN into the system so it knows what the car is. And then we're going to go ahead and clip these heads on. Now you put these as centered on the rim as you can. Actually, first, before we clip the heads on, I forgot, you got to center these plates in front of the wheels. And you roll the car up to those little bump stops on the plates. You kind of want it as close up to the bump stop as possible, as you see me doing right there. Then we're going to clip this head on. So you center it on the rim, put the arms into the tread, clip it down, and it secures the head to the wheel. Super duper easy and fast. Absolutely love this machine. Sometimes you have to clean those little dots on the sensors, or on the heads for the sensors to read right. So anyway, we're going to clip these heads onto all 4 rims, and we align to the rim when we do an alignment. So if you were going to, let's say, do a rotate and alignment as a service, you're going to want to do the rotate first and then do the alignment afterwards. And so once we've got all 4 of these set up and clipped on, we want to make sure they're secure. It's going to register their location, boop, like it just did. And now we're going to do what's called compensation. We're going to roll it forward onto those plates. Now those are floating plates. Also, where this rear wheel is, that whole square section of this machine is a floating plate as well. There's little rollers underneath. You can kind of see it's a double layer. So anyways, we roll it onto the center of the plate, put these little wheel stoppers here to keep it from rolling around. And the next step is going to be, we're going to put in this brake pedal depressor. It'll keep the brakes on so that they can't roll around. To go along with the bump stops there for the wheels on the rear. Then we're going to spin the wheel left and right and get it into the green on the monitor. And pretty much what's happening here is we're teaching it the wheel's angle and position. And so you go left, right, center, and then we're done. And it's hard to see on the monitor there, but we're just getting into the center of the green area. Once we've done that, we can take a look at our measurements and see what's out and what we're about to deal with here. So it looks like left rear camber is out and the front left toe is out. And so love this machine. You click the wrench and it illustrates adjustments. It actually shows you where to do the adjustments. Very convenient, my goodness. Also, it'll tell you what tools you're going to need. 17 and 19. Well, that's super duper convenient. So yeah, absolutely love this machine. You're going to raise it up overhead, and then we're going to grab our wrenches and go and start trying to tackle that camber in the rear. Now we always start with the rear, and then we move to the front adjustments afterwards. The front is based off of the rear. They will always be done in that sequence, and we always do a 4-wheel alignment. Now if, let's say, you'll have noticed the right rear camber was okay and the toe, I'm not going to bother adjusting those. Now these are really minor adjustments. The adjustments on that screen there, we're dealing with tenths of a degree. Super itty bitty stuff, but it can matter in the long run as far as tire wear, and so anything in the green is good. Anything red is out of spec and needs to be dealt with. Now I'm not going to have the absolute best camera angle and you're not going to be able to see the screen, but what you're going to be looking at is I'm going to attempt to adjust the camber. And by the way, when doing adjustments, you always do the camber first and then the toe afterwards. Now I'm going to go back and forth with the bowl and watch the readings on the screen, and I'm trying to get it into the green area. Now I actually ended up having trouble with this guy. I would go one way and then the other, and it kind of it wouldn't pull it into the green no matter which way I went. And I do believe I actually dilly-dallied with this thing for a little while trying to get it right. Now, what I'm doing is loosening the toe adjustment because camber and toe affect each other. And I've learned from experience sometimes you need to loosen both adjustments. And, if you can't get the camber in, which is the first thing you're going to do, then sometimes you need to adjust the toe so that you can actually get the camber in. I'm not sure. Maybe you techs out there would know what I'm talking about, but on these cars, these ones like this, that have both a camber and toe adjustment right there on the rear wheel, sometimes I end up needing to loosen both and kind of adjust both at the same time to get them in the green. So, actually, come to think of it, I know what's going on. I was spinning the camber adjustment here, and it was affecting the toe only. I was wondering what the heck is going on. I thought maybe I had the wrong adjustment, even though I just looked at it on the screen, and so I went and loosened the other one to see if that made any difference on the camber, and it didn't. I said, okay, so I definitely had the camber adjustment first, and basically I'm going to keep going in one direction until I realize that it's as good as it could have gotten. It's at the maximum adjustment that this camber bolt would have allowed anyways, so that's why I can't improve it. And no matter which way, how far I go in either direction, it's making no difference on the camber. So basically at some point I'm going to get it back to as good as I can get it, which was right about where it was when I started, and just tighten it down and then tighten the toe adjustment down and move on with life. It's not a perfect world with alignments. There's a few things that can happen. Sometimes the bushings are frozen. Sometimes the little welded shelves that these eccentric lobed washers and bolts push off of to adjust the arm in and out are bent. It's just a best effort. Alignments are not a guarantee, but generally we're able to do a good job. You'll notice me doing my little trick where you hook one wrench into another to get more leverage. That's often something you have to do. On bigger trucks and stuff like that we do, I'll just get a big 1/2-inch breaker bar to tighten those down. But most alignment adjustments should be able to be carried out with wrenches. And let me tell you, the last thing you want to do is snap a bolt off with a big breaker bar. It's a big stupid issue when you break a bolt. And you as a tech, see, that's as good as I can get it. You need to just be careful. So, -1.3 camber. Now, negative camber means the bottom of the wheel is kicked out towards the outside of the car. So it's lean, just like in the image there. Toe's good. Anyways, technically I could have tightened up I could have improved a little bit the toe adjustment on the other side, but this is where I don't nitpick. I mean, if it's in the green, it's good, and I'm going to move on. We like to be efficient and get things done, and ultimately anything in the green is within spec, so it's good to go. I don't adjust every adjustment available on every car, on every alignment that I do. I think it's unnecessary, frankly, and if anything's in the red, that's what I focus on. And so we've now moved on to the front wheels, since everything is done on the rear. And what we're doing here is called toe, front toe, and I'm leveling the steering wheel. Now this is one of the important parts for where it actually matters. It's the tech's responsibility at this point to level the steering wheel and make it straight, and we're going to tell the machine, the alignment machine, what is actually the perfectly straight position on this steering wheel. Got to watch that you don't hit it with your knee when you get out. And don't slam the door either, I've learned that. And so I've set the wheels straight, and we hit OK. Turned out the front right toe was perfect already. The front left is out. So we always do the front right and then the front left. That's just the sequence of the machine. So anyways, we're going to skip the front right and just move directly to the front left toe. Believe it or not, we're actually nearing the end of this already. The front toe adjustments are the final adjustments. Now, I didn't do the front camber because, for one thing, they're in the green, and another thing, they're very commonly not adjustable on a lot of cars. Now, there certainly are cars that front camber is adjustable, no doubt, but a lot of cars, it just simply isn't. And if it's in the green, I'm not going to bother anyways. So, and since I was mentioning camber being how leaned out or in the bottom of the tire is, toe is actually how perfectly straightforward it is. So, we're going to adjust this front left toe. I look to see what tools it's going to need. We're going to crack this hold down nut loose on this tie rod. Very standard, nice, easy access, nothing funky here. This one was actually just pretty simple and easy. I love it when it's like that. Also, we have a set of relatively long wrenches hanging up there that we use for these alignments because you want that extra leverage. Very often to have to torch and penetrate things to get them to move. This one actually just moved. That's a beautiful thing. So you crack that big nut loose, and then you can spin this inner tie rod. And now you're not going to be able to see, but I'm just getting it in the green on the machine, and then I'm going to cinch it down. Often, when I tighten them down, it'll spin it just slightly and pull it out of spec. So usually I end up having to tighten it down once and see whether it goes negative or positive. Then I'll loosen it back up. Let's say if it went 2/10 of a degree negative when I tighten it down, then I'll loosen it up, position it to 2/10 of a degree positive, and then tighten it down, and that should pull it into 0. And that's kind of the sequence. So generally I have to tighten it twice just to kind of figure out. And I'm not going to squabble over 1/10 of a degree. If it's 0.01, 0.02, honestly, that's good enough for me. Anything 0.04 is actually going to be in the red. So in my mind over years, personally, if it's 0.03 or 0.04 for front toe, I think that's too much. I like to see 0, 0.01, or maybe 0.02. If it's being a total pain in the butt and giving me a hard time, I'll be fine with 0.02, but generally most ones that I do end up 0.0 or 0.01. And so we've done that. Now you got to kind of straighten the wheel according to the machine, and then we're done. So that's it. This is our final measurements. This is where we ended up. That left rear camber, unfortunately, is as good as it's going to get. We're going to do our printout here, and we're going to reset the machine for the next alignment. So overall, it's actually in really good shape. Everything's green except for that left rear toe measurement. But, yeah, unfortunately, that one is just, not going to happen. So we're going to lower it down, and we're going to strip off these heads. We're going to take out our brake pedal depressor. And we're going to go on a test drive and just see how this thing drives. Generally, I try to find a flat, straight piece of road, set the wheels straight, going, so let's say 40, 45 miles an hour, and let my hands go off the wheel and just see if it goes straight, if it drifts to one side or the other, if the wheel's crooked, anything like that. And if the wheel's crooked, generally, unless you have a suspension issue, something loose like a ball joint or a wheel bearing or a bad control arm bushing, if the wheel's crooked, that was my fault. Or let's say the machine isn't perfect and sometimes it hiccups, and I adjust to what I think is going to be a good straight wheel, and it turns out my machine was having a bad day and I have to do it over again. It's really annoying. But generally I do a great job. I'm a pretty fast alignment. I know what I'm doing. Been doing them a long time, and so that was easy peasy. And anyways, we're going to take our report up to our lovely secretary over here, and she's going to usually attempt to explain the sheet to the customer, but I generally am the one who has to talk to them. She doesn't quite explain it well enough, and I know it all like the back of my hand, so more than likely I'll end up explaining the sheet to them. And if they're inquiring what can I do to improve the left rear camber, maybe we're going to be replacing that eccentric bolt. Maybe there's actually a bad bushing. I don't know. All I can tell you is I was spinning that bolt and it would not pull it into the green, and I'm not going to sit there all day dicking around with it, so that's pretty much it. It's as good as it can get, and it wasn't even that bad, frankly. I doubt they're even going to have tire wear or any kind of drivability issues. So this has overall just been a quick, easy alignment, as most of them are, and just wanted to share the sequence. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Take care. Bye bye.